Love culture. Hosting as me.
Oh yeah. We back. Oh, we back.
We own it.
Oh, my back. Oh, my back. It hurts so bad today for some reason.
We are back. Dags is back.
Oh. Fade. Fade that music.
You got to bring it back, buddy.
Okay. Okay, so I'm good. I'm good. My back's feeling better.
All right.
much better intro with fade this time, I believe. I don't think I screwed it up as much. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, plus you
Time
brought
will
us in
tell.
with a little my back.
If I, you know what? Now that I'm looking at the audio mixer, I'm not even sure if it even picked up my music this time. I think
Oh,
I screwed it up already. Man, oh well.
that's okay. See if I can share this.
Yeah, just share it, man. Let's not talk or anything.
Well, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to share it to our own Facebooks and stuff so we can get some people, but they literally changed all this shit up and it just looks crazy.
Oh well. It happens. So
I'm posting this.
Well, while you're doing that, let me take liberty to
Oh, feel free.
say hi. Welcome back.
Yeah.
We've got a cool announcement to make, which he'll make that after he gets his shit together.
I will. Well, we rushed this.
So I'm going to go ahead and take I'm going to go ahead and take over.
Bastard.
I'm a bastard right now. So we'll start off with band of the day like we always do. I'm gonna tell a little story leading up into this one, and before I get any hate from anybody, I was never the biggest Led Zeppelin fan until recently.
Right.
So that's my band of the day is Led Zeppelin.
Classic.
For some reason, was really inspired to sound like Jimmy Page yesterday, and I was just like, I'm gonna play around with some of my recording software I have here. For those of you that are interested, I use Bias Effects too, and I used an old JM45, digital version, copy, whatever you want, clone, whatever you want to call it. Mashed it with some spring reverb, cranked all the presence and cranked all the bottom, and man, I was feeling like Jimmy Page for a little bit. And what's funny though is, as I was doing my research on this, there's a lot of crazy people out there when it comes to Jimmy Page.
Oh yeah,
Like
big time.
Like a lot of the stuff was like, what did Jimmy Page play? And they were like, "Stop wasting your time. He sold his soul to the devil." It's just
Now
like,
that's ridiculous.
well, I was just like, okay, I mean that's a fun story and all, but I mean, like, what he play though? I'm still interested in that part of it,
And not to mention, for two, is it even true? Chances are great no.
I could give a shit less about that part of his story, Like I just that's.
Did it make his riffs better? We don't know.
I mean, I know he did stuff with Anton LaVey, whatever. One of those Church of Satan guys.
One of those dudes.
One of them dudes. And I know he did some music for like a movie he made or something like that. But I mean that still, like, and which is crazy. I know this stuff about Jimmy Page, but I've never actually just sat down and listened to Jimmy Page. So
you have a tendency too that if it's a band that you have heard either too much about or feel like has been overdone, you don't jump in.
That's true.
You'll be like, yeah, I'm just not for me.
Height
and I feel like
me.
Led Zeppelin probably is that way for you initially.
I'm afraid of height, man. I just stay away from it. I used to have this.
Well, lead is worth it.
I used to have an acacia strain zip up hoodie that had Ep.3 on the front, and that's why I got it because I loved that. Because I was like, that's how I felt. I was like, that's me, man. I stay away from the hype.
Right.
Like, I don't even know if that's what they intended for it to me. But that's what it meant for me. Damn it. But yeah, so that's band of the day. Led Zeppelin. I'm not even going to say go listen to it because I mean you probably have. If you haven't, I mean you're like probably like me and just dumb.
I don't think dumb is the word, but I do feel like chances are great a lot of people have listened. We're both drinking the same thing, just out of different vessels.
Oh yeah, what'd you get? Crappy Hardee's.
Wendy's.
Ooh, good stuff.
Yep. Went through the drive-through after I went to my office to pick up my shoes for my mom. I went to Wendy's. My mom.
Your mom.
For Mother's Day.
Your mom on Mother's Day.
My mom.
Say, listen, man. I got these wicked cool shoes for you.
Are we hitting? Do you want to save the announcement for the end?
Yeah, I want to make everybody sit through all this crap, and then we'll make a clip out of it, and then just share the clip.
And then we'll share that clip. Yeah, that's a good call.
If you don't want to listen to us rant and be dumb, I don't blame you. But back to Led Zeppelin and being awesome and all. I'm going to take it back to another thing I wanted to talk about, and that's just. And I don't know how to say it, man. But
just say it.
Modern guitar players just don't mean shit to me.
Ooh.
I'm not into the new age of lead guitar, I guess you could say. I'm just not into it. I'm sorry. I'm kind of with you because I was never really into like lead guitar, which you have a different perspective from me because your instrument is guitar. I love it. I love it so much.
I like guitar for fun and for means of fun to write or to be creative. But to say like I'm a guitar player, no. And as much as I love the bass, I would say I'm not a bass player either. My instrument is drums, and I just also loved, playing these other instruments. So for me, like lead guitar, I don't know, man. Alex Lifeson will always be at the top because he writes
Rush. I mean, like
to write melodies,
there, man.
Yeah, I know. I threw a real curveball there.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I don't know. As just a guitar player, as a solo featured like instrumentalist, it's probably John 5.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and stop you right there too. Like, I'm not a big fan of Virtuoso. Like I respect it, and I appreciate what they do and what they've provided to the guitar world. I think it's awesome.
Right.
But like, I'm not one of these guys that's going to sit down and be like, dude, have you listened to Steve Vai? No, dude, have you really listened to Steve Vai? No, I haven't.
I mean, he's great.
He's an awesome guitar player, and
he's cool. Really great.
And I'm not really into instrumental guitar playing. It's just, I don't know.
Right.
I'm just not into it, man. Like, I like instrumental music, but I like it when there's more of
other
a melody and like a rhythm and groove and stuff to it. I've always been more of a fan of a really awesome rhythmatic style player that when they use their lead stuff.
Yeah.
I've been like a guilty pleasure of mine is The Darkness. Like, I think the Hawkins brothers are two of the nastiest guitar players. But I just really like bends and stuff like that. I like that style, that era of guitar playing. And I always wondered, like, why doesn't anybody shred like this in metal? Just maybe that's
they can't handle it.
That's my goal. I'm going to be the Angus Young of metal.
Dags and I. So to break social distancing protocol, I went up and hung out with Dags on Saturday this past week, and
that's true.
We made a funny, stupid video of us playing guitar together. That'll get posted at some point. But we didn't record us doing it, but we also ripped, I believe, in a thing called Love, and Dags wailed the solo perfectly
Dude,
to a backing track
I've been playing the hell out of that backing track.
because it's a banger. I mean, I get it; it's a total banger.
It's fun, man. I'm telling you, when you grab that first solo, when you hit that bend, oh,
Right.
it's so simple, but just when you hit it just right, and I don't know, just learning some of that stuff too just made me appreciate like how, like when you're bending the notes and stuff, like how much range, how much dynamic you can get out of that single position on the fret, and just where you're hitting that pick on how how hard you're pushing it, how soft you're pulling it, like
Right.
it makes a world of difference. And you don't realize how subtle those movements can really change everything. And I don't know, it's cool.
Today,
I'm just respecting that.
today, from from solely an aesthetic perspective, I went full contradictory, as most people guess if they don't know me already. I'm a huge Bulls fan, hence the reason I'm always wearing a Bulls hat or of some kind.
Stop
But
Bulls.
today, I'm rocking the Miami Heat as well as the Dallas Mavericks for Luka, who is the kid wonder. Dude, he's gonna be nasty. We don't have to go into basketball. I'm just saying, Luka's gonna be nasty.
No, do we need to go into basketball?
No, we can say
we can use this to segue into shoes.
Oh, into shoes.
Shoes.
Oh, you know,
basketball shoes.
You know, I love shoes. I'm trying to think of, since the last time we did an episode, have I gotten any new shoes? I got Mom's shoes for her birthday. I've got a pair of shoes ordered for my sister, for her birthday. Jesus, for Mother's Day, I've got ordered.
Shoes for your, so when I was saying stuff about your mom getting shoes, like I was right.
Until October, no. I got my sister shoes for her birthday because her birthday is tomorrow. So I got her shoes. I don't think, honestly, I haven't, other than those Westbrooks, those Why Not 03s, I haven't gotten shoes for myself in at least like 3 weeks.
That's a record.
Which for most people that I ever talk to, they're like, I go through like one pair of shoes in a year, and it's like, dude, I get like 4 in a month typically, if not more than that.
That's what you call a sneakerhead.
I do love shoes, man. I could go on for a long time about shoes. Plus, Dax is trying to get into shoes.
Yeah, I'm actually voyaging into wanting to buy my first pair of Jordans ever.
And I'm so proud.
I'm tired of my feet hurting all the time, man. Like I've always been one of those guys like, I like skate shoes. I used to be a skateboarder. I used to do it all the time.
Right.
Those are comfy shoes, and they're awesome. Yeah, they are awesome for when you're skateboarding.
They are awesome.
They suck for everything else.
Right.
It's like,
I
got skate shoes. I'm gonna go ollie and kickflip. I'm too fat for that shit anymore. I can't do that anymore. Like that's those days are behind me. So why do I keep torturing myself with these flat-soled shoes? Because I'm stupid. Because I want to look cool, Juice. Because I want to pretend like I'm still living life like I'm Viva La Bam, baby. What's wrong with me, man? Don't do that. Don't do your feet like that.
I love those DCs that I've got that I wear basically all the time. I do love those shoes, man. Those are a favorite. And I think I have a pair of Etnies slip-ons that I rock a lot.
I used to love Etnies.
Oh, dude, they're great.
They're the worst
that was my first
shoes,
pair of Etnies.
I would ruin those things literally in like a week.
Actually, my DCs are...
Actually, in hindsight, I'm not sure if it was the shoe was that bad or if I just really sucked at kickflips.
That is like my jam at the moment. I rock these triple blacks. I think they're TX Anvils. I rock these like all the time. Luckily, they were within reach of me sitting. I love those shoes. What is it?
I said within halo reach of me sitting.
Right.
Every time I hear reach, I just think of that game. I mean,
what a great game, though.
All time, like hands down, my all-time favorite ending to any video game I've ever played. Where you
was
just
Reach?
Get into fighting till you die, and You just sacrifice yourself to bring. Oh,
Do you know how many
oh.
playthroughs I've done of that? Just trying to see if there's a way where you get around that, and it never happens.
You're like, I can do it, man.
It
Noble
never
6,
happens.
we can do it. We can do it, Noble 6.
I went for a solid like 20 minutes at one
I
point.
did too. Like I was feeling like top dog. Like I was just
Yep.
whooping ass. I was ripping turrets off and I was like, just throwing grenades. Oh.
Every time.
And I was felt like a badass. And then like I just turn around and there's bam, big elite with a sword. Just
Then you still end up dying. That's what sucks, man. But you're right. That's probably one of the best Halo endings.
Oh, it's amazing, dude.
Like me and Dags both are big Halo fans.
Robbie's watching, and he just mentioned that he's rocking some gray DCs right now, so he feels his
Hell yeah.
skate shoes. What's up, brother?
Hell yeah, man. That's the jam, son.
Well, listen, Rob, I think me and you need to consider upping up to some Jordans. Step our sneaker game up.
Highly recommend. I'm trying to think what the last Jordans I got. It was those fire red cement 3s from All-Star Weekend this year. So that was, what was that?
Those things are sweet. I like those. I remember those.
When was All-Star Weekend? January?
I don't know,
15?
man. These last few months have all been a blur. Like seriously. Like all I do is like wake up and get on a computer and go to work and get on computers and fix computers. And then I'm like, you boy, what day is it?
We're just in a cyclical pattern that never breaks
it's
anymore.
Thursday, you idiot. I'm like, oh yeah, smartphone, gotcha.
Oh yeah, right back onto the computer. Yeah, I think it was the last pair of Jordans I got. Well, I guess the Why Not 03s are technically Jordans.
Robbie said he's got some Kobe's. Those might be worth some damn monies now.
Ooh.
He said All-Star
what
Weekend's
Kobe's?
in February too. God, we just need to have him like moderate this shit for us and just fill in.
Yeah, man. What? I'm curious as to what Kobe's they are. Are they like one? They're what now?
I was telling him, you want to know. He wants to know. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Take a guess. Let's find out. Take a guess.
If they're one of his actual series, I'm gonna guess like a Kobe 4. If they're not, I'm gonna guess it's probably like the Mamba Rage.
We'll find out. He's gonna let me know. And I think Steve piped up and said Groundhog Day. Are you saying that's like the best ending to wait, no, Groundhog Day. Was that last week?
Oh, because it's the same thing over and over again. That's what we're dealing with.
Oh, I thought he was like
I get it.
Last week's like favorite movie quote. I was like, oh, dude, I was like, Steve, you're late, brother. I'm an idiot, Steve. It ain't you.
I get it. Or I'm gonna look like an asshole if that's not actually it, and I'm just putting words in his mouth. But I feel like that's probably the point he was trying to make.
Yeah, that's true. Probably.
Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, brother.
Steve, I miss you, by the way. I haven't seen you in a long time.
I don't think I have either.
I haven't seen him in longer.
Oh, I guarantee that.
He said Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. I mean, that was Groundhog Day.
I do love Bill Murray. He's awesome.
That is the Groundhog Day that we're talking about. Yeah, shoes. If you're just wanting straight comfy, I highly recommend like any of the Air Maxes. They're great. Jordans wise, if you're going for straight comfy, I don't know, man. I really like of his retros, like Jordan retro lines.
Yeah.
I would say anywhere from the Jordan 8 up would probably be good. A lot of people will consider like the Jordan 11 and on because those had like full zoom. I think the Jordan 12 was actually the first shoe that had full zoom air through the whole shoe. Instead of just zoom pockets. Do you got something?
Yeah, I think they're just proving that we're idiots, and I think what they're trying to say was Groundhog Day was All-Star Weekend.
Oh, see, I'm an asshole. Even though it still was applicable, that's not what you meant, and I'm sorry.
I don't watch sports, so don't expect shit from me.
Well, you did. You've been watching basketball this season up until the entire season got fucking canceled.
I watched like 2 Lakers games, and then I was just like, I can't do this.
Dude, tell me about it. I'm a Bulls fan. We suck. I had to watch almost every game they lose.
It's not even that, man. It's just like I feel like when I sit around and watch sports, I'm just pretending to do something I don't like.
Well,
Like
if you're
I dig
invested,
basketball, like it's cool, but like
right?
at the same time, like I don't want to sit around and watch it all the time. Like I'm not like, shh, the game's on, game's on.
Oh, see, now I am. I am that person. Like
That's
I
not
love.
me at all,
Now,
man.
I'll talk during the games. I don't have a problem with that. But like when the Bulls are playing or the Miami Heat, those two, and that's really because of Jimmy Butler.
All right,
But
all right. I gotta make. I'm not trying to cut you off, but
yes, you are.
I gotta give Steve some credit on this one. He's
What?
depressed. Hockey's over. I can
for
sit
sure.
down and watch hockey. That's different.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't follow it hardcore, but that shit's entertaining. I mean,
Steve,
whoo,
if you're still in there after you said that and you're still watching, I'm gonna let you in on a detail that only my dad knew up to this point. In our fantasy hockey league, after the third week, I quit playing and deleted the app. So if I won at all, it was strictly out of pure coincidence. If I lost, we're gonna say it was out of pure coincidence. It just this season wasn't fun. I don't feel like up until where we were at. It wasn't the season prior where me, you, and Dad, and everybody in our league had a lot of fun. This just felt, I don't know, shitty and forced. So I quit playing. And I'm sorry that I probably didn't tell you that sooner. But yeah, after about the third week, I deleted the app altogether just to free space up on my phone.
You shut the hell up. I don't support Carol Baskins just because I don't watch sports.
Who is Carol Baskins?
If you seriously not watched Tiger King yet,
no. Is that a thing?
Worth it. It's worth it.
It's a Tiger King thing?
Yeah. Carol Baskins, she's in the doc, and everything in that doc points that she killed her husband, and I'm not convinced she didn't.
So you're not... Everything is pointing to her having murdered her husband, and you're not convinced that she didn't kill him?
Yeah, she killed him, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
okay.
I
agree.
I got you.
I 100% agree that she had everything to do with that. Actually, I don't know.
I got you.
I don't know if she did or not. I'm not a cop. I'm not a detective. I'm not the Dark Knight. I wish I was, but I'm not. See, that's another thing. You want to keep my attention? Put Batman on TV. I'll be like, shut up, bitch. It's the good part. I'm Batman.
Where is it?
Where is it? What is it? I swear.
Oh,
it
man.
sounds like.
I mean, you're not wrong. He is the worst Batman. Yeah. Shit. That's tough.
I think Steve said you did win a few games in the fantasy league.
Did I really? Hell yeah, brother. That's badass. I wasn't playing. After those 3 weeks, man, I wasn't playing at all. So if I won any, hell yeah. That brings up a good point about Batman. Me and you talked about that actually over the weekend. People will give you shit for it, and you know it. But Ben Affleck was a great Batman. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't think that those movies were necessarily amazing. I think
they
could
weren't
have done a lot better.
They could.
He did a good job though.
He did. No, he really did. And I was skeptical,
will agree
man.
With people when they say like the best Batman movies are the the Nolan trilogy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like those are good. I love those movies, but
they're good.
I don't think that Christian Bale was a good Batman.
Man, I won't say that.
He was good everything else.
The third film was awful.
Nah, I don't say that. Well, I thought it was good until they were like, when they were talking to Grace and they were like, oh, is that your real name? Why don't you go by that? It's such a pretty name. And he's like, Robin. And I was like, stupid.
Yeah, I don't. That sucked, man. And what they did to Bane, that was horrible. And
that was horrible.
I think Christian Bale was probably at his worst as Batman to me in that film. Like the first one was just The Dark Knight. Then what was the second one?
Of the Nolan movies?
Yeah.
Is Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Returns, or
Okay.
Dark Knight Rises?
So the first one, Batman Begins, is actually
I
my
wish it
favorite
was
of
The Dark Knight
Nolan's.
Returns. That would have been awesome.
That would have been sweet. So my
Just
favorites actually Begins. Then it would be Dark Knight, and then I don't even rank the third one. That movie was just awful, dude.
I liked it. I liked the third one. Let's see. Steve says that George Clooney was the worst Batman. You don't like bat nipples? Bat nipples are awesome.
It was Clooney who had bat nipples.
Justice.
See, I always thought it was Val Kilmer, and I get them confused because their movies both were really bad.
His might have too, actually. Now that maybe there are scenes with him with certain gear that did or didn't.
Google.
I know for sure that Clooney did though.
This is going to be the weirdest search I've ever done. Bat nipples.
Bat nipples.
In Batman. God. It's been a while since I'd seen it, but yeah, they're pretty prevalent, man.
He said it's
Why did they do that?
I have no idea, man. Okay, what am I sharing here?
Oh, it's in both actually. You're right. Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Uh-oh.
Inception.
It's just me.
Inception.
It's all me, baby. I don't want that.
Yeah, I'm just having fun.
It is, yeah, it was in both Clooney and Kilmer's. Both had bat nipples. Why, the world will never know, but both of them had bat nipples. Yeah, I was about to say, Steve is like you and is also a big Batman fan, so I didn't... He would have a good time gauging Batmans. Steve, who would be your favorite Batman then?
And I don't know why, but I can't get this to stop screen sharing. Why is this not working for me?
Dags was here for a little bit. I guess the rest of the thing is just going to be Dags talking and just
Huzzah!
There he is. There he is. All right.
I am not done.
Yeah, Steve and anybody else watching, who would be your favorite Batman from the actual films? And I'm going to say this too, I'm not willing to rule out Pattinson yet.
I'm not going to rule him out. I mean, I got to watch
until I see it, man. Because did you watch
said
The White House?
Was a good Joker.
Who?
Robbie said Leto was a good Joker. I don't know about that, Robs.
Man, I see your.
That's what he sounded
I
like,
see
man.
your point. I hate his look a lot. Like, and I've always gone to defense over. I think Leto could have done a good Joker, but that image, man, ruined so much of what could have been a great Joker. Not to mention the film was also terrible. Like, Suicide Squad as a whole was really bad. I had high hopes for it too, man. The Suicide Squad's got so much material that they could have pulled from in the comics.
Well, that's one thing I love about DC is that it's always just, oh, Robbie's back. Good, I'm going to throw insults at him. Leto sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
Rude.
No, he wasn't bad. Like, I didn't hate him. Like, I didn't hate him as much as everybody else did. But I wouldn't say he's my favorite, though.
No, Joker-wise, no. Mine's always going to be Nicholson.
I don't even think of the movies when I think of Joker. I think of,
you think of Hamill.
I think of Mark Hamill in the animated series, hands down.
I always go Nicholson, man.
You should have heard me when I first bought Arkham Knight, and I didn't know that Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill were doing the voices for it.
We're doing the voices.
So, like, I'm playing the game, and all of a sudden, like, they start talking, and I'm like,
nostalgia.
Yeah, like it just all kicked in, and I was just like as giddy as could be. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I was I've always wanted this.
Nah, man. Nicholson will always be first. I would probably agree with you. Hamill would be my second. And then Heath Ledger would probably be third. Yeah, Heath Ledger would easily be third. And that's not knocking on him for the film that he did. I think the film was great, and he did a fantastic job. But there's just so much to contend with for me with Jack Nicholson. I thought his Joker was absolutely terrifying.
It was pretty good.
Be-
I liked it.
because he was crazy, not scary from a killer clown perspective, but the dude, I mean, for God's sake, he killed the entire city of Gotham with a gas that made them smile until they died.
Right.
Like, that's
And,
terrifying, man.
One of my favorite scenes, though, is when he dies and he has that smile on his face, and then he has that little thing on the inside that just keeps laughing. So, like, even when he's dead, like, he got you one last time. Like,
dude, it's great.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Great. And I like the color palette that they used for the Joker in that movie too. How like
for Tim Burton's.
Yeah, like how everything was like purple, greens, and like pinks and I already said purples, but just these really weird colors, like combinations going together.
Yeah.
I think it really,
which makes sense because that's Tim Burton.
Yeah, what kind of sticks out to me is the Joker as well. Like because of that movie, I kind of see the Joker dressing a little bit. I guess you could say flamboyant. To really get your attention, to make you think he's just this weird character, you know?
Right. No, he did great, and from a strictly like terrorizing perspective, what is scarier generally? A gas that makes people smile till they die, or or like what was Heath Ledger's big thing, like blowing up random things?
Anarchy, just no rule, and he would just blow up He would blow up things that even like I guess what you could say like most hardened criminals wouldn't do. You know, he was going to innocent areas. You know, taking out things that a hospital. Who blows up a hospital? Joker would, because he wants chaos. You know, you take everybody to the hospital, so blow that up. Where you gonna take them then?
Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that that's not scary, but I am saying that
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying that's what he's going for.
That's his point. Yeah,
Ledger's guy is the terrorist. All right?
Yeah.
The Nicholson's more of like a gangster.
And that's what and that's why I think I like Leto's too.
Yeah.
Is that I think he could have been great. Yeah, dude, I think he could have been great, but like I said, his look and his film was awful.
What's up, Todd?
Huh?
Todd's watching. I said, "What's up, Todd?"
Like Toddles?
Yeah, Toddles.
What up? Thank you for popping in, bud.
Oh yeah, Rob's mentioned Jim Carrey doing the Riddler, about how I guess he kind of lost his mind to become the Riddler. That was
makes sense.
I'm not a big fan of those movies. I'm really not. Like after the what is it? Batman Returns. I just kind of fall off of them. But I do like watching the third one every now and then because of Jim Carrey, because of that ending. I fucking love that ending, dude. When they're like, Edward, who's Batman? He's Batman. Batman, you say? And he just turns around and he has that scene. I'm Batman.
I love it. Probably my favorite Batman villain is the Riddler, and always has been, because I love his look. Mm-hmm. Plus, he's a smart villain. I love the fact that they went the smart route as opposed to just scary like Bane and just big and stuff. Like, I love that they used a dude who was smart. Like, that was his superpower, essentially, was that he could outsmart anybody.
Yeah, that's what was always fun about Batman enemies, man. It's like, not always. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say, like, everything they've ever came out with was
not all of his were great, but the vast majority were.
I'm pretty sure one of his enemies was, like, Kite Man or something like that, and, like, they've since, like, rewrote it and made it, like, interesting and stuff, especially, like, with Snyder.
Right.
But I'm just, at the same time, it's not a real humdinger when you think about it. And when I think about Batman villains, first thing pops in my mind always the Joker. But I'm trying to skip.
Oh, duh.
Killer Croc's one of my favorites. I feel like he kind of.
That's a good one.
Clayface. I always thought Clayface was terrifying. Like, how do you stop somebody that can be anybody?
Right.
You know.
Well, and that's the thing
crazy.
too.
Like,
that's the thing too, man. Is that think of. I mean, you would probably be a better gauge of that because you like both Marvel and DC. Whereas I'm pretty well, like, I like Deadpool, obviously. Me and you've been over that. But for me, I'm a DC person. And I mean, just generally think of any comic book villain off the top of your head. I would say 7 out of 10 of them are Batman villains.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say that the majority of people would probably lean that way.
Because he had the best villains, dude. As a whole, Batman really got the greatest.
I was gonna say, but with that being said, though, the way the modern Marvel trend has been, I can see a lot of people mentioning Marvel people first now.
Sure.
It's just the movies have overshadowed DC. Like, that's no contest.
Yeah.
No question. They've just made better movies.
Well, and it's not a knock at all. Like, I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking.
No, I'm not
the
saying
Marvel
I get what
film.
you're saying. I'm just saying, like, that might be a little bit different these days. But no, I feel
it
like,
would.
I still feel like Batman has some of the better heroes, like the funner heroes, if you will. Not funner,
He
but
does.
just creative heroes, I guess, or not heroes, but villains.
I mean, like you said.
That's true.
What?
DeVito was terrifying as the Penguin too.
Oh, for sure.
The scene where he eats that fish, like,
Ugh.
like, that's gross, man. Like,
They gave him that like wicked
just,
pointy nose and the webbed fingers.
Yeah, and he was always going
like that was Tim Burton,
dude,
man.
It was awesome.
Tim Burton made those first 2 Batman films. He made terrifying because it was Tim Burton.
Well, they should have.
It's just what he did.
I don't like to think of the Batman or anything like that as like a happy-go-lucky story or like an uplifting Captain America's type, fight for truth and justice, like, kind of thing, like.
Because it's not really.
Yeah, I like the darkness of it. It's I don't know. It's always been interesting to me.
Yeah, man.
But then with that being said, though, like, on the flip, my favorite Marvel character, Spider-Man, which is kind of like, quips and, smart-ass comments and very teenage angsty kind of shit. So it's yeah.
It's funny that your Marvel person lines up with my DC person almost perfectly there, because my favorite is the Flash.
I do love the Flash. Flash is good too.
So
I was
the fact that
Flash there for a while.
Yeah, the both of us were into that one storyline that came after Grodd.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That series was great.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that series was really good.
I'm sad now. I fell off of it, and I don't know what happened.
Dude, the both of us hit off of comics. Really, it came down to, I think, at the time at the time, our list of our weeklies was getting to be way more expensive than what either one of us.
I was buying weekly. Man, it started getting to the point I was almost walking out of there a week with like 10, 15 comic books. And I was just like, this
easily. And mine was far less than yours, and it still was getting to the point where I was like, shit, we need to back this down, son.
What was sad was I was reading everything. Like,
right.
Like, I'd be like, or asking you like a few days later, like, hey man, did you read that new Flash? Like, no, I haven't read it yet. And you're like, and I'm like, I read my stack. And it's just like
for me and Dags, I don't know how many of you guys are around and in that area. Our comic book shop for local business, that was Lost Legion, down in South Charleston, down by the Mound. They're great people. Me and Dags still would 100% go in there and buy all of our comics, but we just have been off comics for a hot minute. So
yeah, I've just been off of it. I've been trying to do other things.
We've been on Batman and comics, which is not any of our notes.
Yeah,
for a hot minute. That was for a hot minute, son. Which I think is great. I appreciate it.
Todd
we should.
If he knew how to read, he'd pick up some comics. That's the best thing about them, Todd. You don't have to read. They got pretty pictures.
There's pictures. And it's not that Todd can't read. It's that Todd can't spell. It has nothing to do with his ability to read. It's his ability to spell, which has gotten better over the years. So I'll give credit where it's due, bud.
It's like when you put a microphone in his hand and he's standing on stage, his tongue gets all twisted, and then he don't talk no good.
Then he pisses his pants and forgets where he is for 45 minutes.
I used to that way. I used to hate getting out on stage, man. Like, I was the worst to, like, be in a band with and start going out there. Because, like, all the way there, I was like, I hate this shit. It's stupid. Why are we doing this? And then I go on stage and be like, this is awesome!
I always had something I could hide behind, I think is why I never got nerves or nervous about any performance ever. Um, that element of like performing never affected me. Um, Mine would hit more afterwards, like when we were done, because you know me, Todd knows me. I'm a reclusive person in the
Wait,
sense
hey,
of I don't what?
who are you?
Who am I?
Do I know you?
Fucking asshole.
I
Uh, I don't. I don't like. It makes me uncomfortable. Makes me kind of like not embarrassed. I don't think is the word because there's not much I would probably say I'm embarrassed by, but it makes me really uncomfortable. People talking about like my drumming.
I'll talk about your drumming here right now in front of everybody.
Don't do it.
This guy can boots and cats. And
I can.
Dat, and skilly doo.
I can do all of it. Before. I got all the sounds, baby.
Boots and cuts and 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 boots. That's about as far as drumming as I could go.
And Todd would know better than anybody. I played with Todd for shit, man. 2008 to 2014.
It's a long time.
It is a long time.
Y'all's old men.
We are. Me and Nathan and I played the longest together. I played with him since I was 12. And then I quit playing metal and stuff, like with Elysium in particular, back in 2014. So, I was 23?
I think I quit. I think I quit shortly after you did.
You did. Yeah, you guys did.
Not Elysium. I was never in Elysium. But I quit, playing music.
but he quit the idea.
I think Nathan, it was either Nathan or Todd, one did ask me to audition one time, but I was working night shift and I just couldn't. I was working at night and going to school during the day. There was just no time. I wanted to.
I don't remember.
I was so excited when I was like, me.
I want to say that probably was. It could have been both of them, to be honest. I do remember Nathan talking about it, and I remember Todd bringing it up too.
Oh, I would have loved it. I really wish I could have at the time. I would have.
Yeah, that would have been great, man.
Been
especially where we're at now. Had we been able to start that earlier,
yeah, that'd been great, man.
Yeah, man, that would have been awesome.
That'd been awesome.
I would have loved that.
All right, let's pick up on some comments here. Okay, so apparently I forgot about this, but I'm kind of starting to remember. It's coming back to me a little bit. Back in the day, I had a few bands like you do, and you try out people. And apparently, I had Robbie try out one time, and said he was too nervous to even practice. Bruh,
damn,
it happens, man. It's make or break when you get in front of people.
You have that effect, Dags. You just make people nervous, and they're like, "No, I can't do it."
Because I'm a judgmental prick.
I mean, he's not wrong, but
I like what I like, and I'll let you know about it. No, I'm just
kidding. But you've gotten better.
I am who I am.
Over the years. Yeah, over the years you've gotten better.
Like. I don't think I'm a jerk. I don't think I am at all. I think
you're not.
Dude.
Yeah, you're not.
I just know what I like, and I don't like to put up with nonsense, I guess you could say. Which I don't do it in a negative way.
No.
I just kind of cut you out of my life if I don't like you. Like I just nope, can't do it.
You just did that today.
I do it all the time.
That's my boy.
It happens. Let's see what else. We got some more comments. Toddle said that his bass made your drums sound epic.
It did. It really did. You would know that because Tom at the Parrot would always turn my drums up super loud. He would turn Todd's bass up super loud. From the stage volume, Tom would run it like way hot in the monitors and going out towards the front. And then Nathan, he would run his pretty hot, but not too bad out of the monitors. But if Nathan, as soon as we get done with sound check and everything's tight, and then we hit the first note of whatever the first song is, he'd make it like a verse in, and if he just wasn't feeling it, he'd go back and be like, and turn it up even louder.
I don't guess he liked us that much because anytime
Why?
I don't really think that he didn't like us or anything like that, but I just don't guess he gave a shit about us. Is what I'm trying to say.
No.
Because I don't mean Todd. I don't mean you guys. I mean
No, you mean Tom, but I don't think he did.
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
loved every band he brought.
No, I don't mean like Tom like legit hated us. I'm not saying that. Tom's a
Right.
sweetheart. What I'm saying is like when we were just like, hey man, can you do this? And we were a younger band, I think he kind of had the attitude of like, yeah, sure, fuck you. It just, and then like he was doing it his way because like it's his show, you know. So I get that, but because I remember,
Tom
man,
would do
like Dylan, we were a weird band, like not in the way we sounded, but in the sense that like we're very riff swingy and groovy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all from the guitar point of view, is where that groove came from. So
right.
like, the drums and the guitar matched up a lot. So Dylan, which was my drummer at the time, would follow me, and I would follow him. And like our bass player played like he was a fucking lead guitar player, and like just did all these cool like feels. So like we were this weird kind of like how we did things band. And,
right.
And if anybody's listening, I'm cursing and you're upset, I'm sorry, but this is not a kid show.
Nope.
And so like we like Dylan would always be like, I need to hear you more, man. I need to follow you. You know, we'd be like, hey Tom, man, can you put me a little bit up in the monitor for Dylan? Yeah. Bass goes up. And Dylan like, no man, guitar. Bass gets louder, and he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And just we would just play.
That's Tom, man. That's what he did, dude. You're exactly right. Tom had his like.
Oh, it was funny.
He had his sounds that he loved, and he had, for him, as you can tell, Tom loves drums. Tom loves bass, and that's what nine times.
I think that's why I like Moreau so much, man. Because like they were just they're just a groove band. Like they have like some like they did some really cool like lead work and stuff. Like I love their guitar players. Their tone's amazing. But like they groove so tight. Like it's just a rhythm based band, you know. Like
I came across, it was in my memories on Facebook the other day. Was 2013, I think, is when I had Moreau, when we had them at the Parrot. God, can't quit burping.
That was a good time.
When we had him, what?
Todd said that you are the best drummer he's ever stepped on stage with.
Well, thank you, Toddles. And I will take that seriously because there's not very many drummers you've stepped on stage with, so I do appreciate that. But the video came up of Tom. Do you remember that night? Because it was the night you guys.
Oh God, I'll never forget it, dude. I've never seen Tom in my life. And I've not been there as many as other people have, but I've never seen him stop the show to dedicate a shot to the band ever. Yep. I've never seen that. Was so cool, man. Like maybe he's done it with like other genres.
I don't think he has,
but I've never seen him do it with the kind of metal we were playing. Like,
right.
I mean, let's be honest. Like most of the time when our bands came around, we're not really everybody's favorite because we do the screaming and shit like that. Yeah, you screaming bands and stuff like that. Well, I like the music, but I just don't like that hollering stuff. You know?
No, that's
true. So you always get kind of that. But then for there to be another band that did that, and he's just like, that was the best goddamn band I'd ever heard.
Oh, he loved them.
I was like,
he loved them, dude. I'll find the video because I don't know if it was me that posted it or if it was another person that posted it and tagged me in it. But I will find the video and post it to the Flop Culture page. But there's a video of that night, and Tom's up on stage, and Tom's got all the shots, and he's handing them out. And Taylor starts a Tom chant for everybody in the crowd.
Tom,
man,
Tom.
It was great, man.
Dude. I'll never forget that night because like you guys went back, or maybe not you, because I know that really wasn't your cup of tea. But like they went back and stayed with somebody that Nathan, maybe Todd, maybe Todd. Okay,
stayed at Todd's.
Yeah, we all got invited, but I'm just gonna be straight up. Like my wife is just not into the party scene. I'm not really into the party scene.
No, you're not either.
So when show was over, I was ready to go home. No offense, guys. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
So, but you know, it was fun hanging out with him there at the bar until we left. And stuff
yeah.
Like that. But there was one part, and it was really funny. And this might be a little bit of the reason why I didn't want to go too. Like I was really into Moreau when we played with him. So like when you guys invited us to, like I was like, like you know, it was awesome. Like I was like, absolutely, this is great, man. This is my kind of music. And
Right.
I was like, I'd be honored, because you know how I was. I was always completely grateful anytime you guys invited me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you guys were my favorite Charleston-based band. So like, anytime you guys were like, "You want to play?" I was like, "Hell yes!" Like, I was, yeah, of course I'm gonna play. Do you have a band?
Right.
No, but I'll be there.
But I'm in.
I'll do it myself. It's just like, but I was in the crowd singing the song, just singing along, and I was having just a great moment. And then just like this, Juice, look at the camera. Look at the camera. Taylor just locked eyes with me like that. I never felt so awkward in all my life. Because I was singing his music, and I was just like, I can't wait. Oh, what do I do?
I'm done now.
I was like, what do I do? Like, he just stopped me dead in my tracks. I just felt like, should I be doing this? Like, he gave me that look. He gave me that look of like, why aren't you a woman?
We'll eventually at some point, because I still pretty regularly, I won't say like we are like every day or every month type of deal, but
No.
I definitely want to get
Go
Taylor and Josh at some point
Absolutely.
on the show, because they're great dudes. Josh does his own Twitch stuff. He's a DJ, so
that's cool.
Give him an opportunity to plug his stuff. That'd be awesome.
That.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That'd be cool. Well, dude, we're already past what we discussed doing, so let's do your announcement and let's make some clips of this, because I know you're super stoked, and we're losing viewers too. So let's just wrap it up.
Why is everybody leaving me?
Because it's been almost an hour.
Well, you make a good point. So this Friday, I think we're shooting for 6 p.m. Eastern. Not like anybody who's not watching this is not Eastern time. But this Friday, 6 p.m., Flop Culture, we're going to put up episode. It's probably going to be 4, but it might end up being 5. It just depends on if me and Dags do another episode. Who knows?
Could be 7. I don't follow numbers.
Just depends. But on that episode, you may have recognized this gentleman hopping across your screen doing a modified Running Man to the likes of Shania Twain, Tim McGraw, the Star Wars Cantina Band, Heavy D and the Boys.
That was a good one.
There's been some other classics, but James Pliggy from Harm's Way is going to be joining us via video on Friday. We're shooting, like I said, for 6 p.m. is when that episode, and we're going to try to stream that episode. So if anybody wants to, join in, ask questions, take part, that'd be awesome. It was very cool of him to
Absolutely.
give us the time in general, since we have time.
For somebody that's not only a touring musician, but it's also getting some viral fame right now.
Oh, big time.
To take time out of his day to talk to two good old West Virginia boys.
Yeah,
Pretty
man.
Awesome. That's
I was talking to him just before this, actually. I was talking to him on Messenger. Me and him was going back and forth, and what was cool was he asked me initially, I said, man, what time works for you? Because we'll work around your schedule, brother. And he said, what is this, Eastern or Central? And I said, we're Eastern, man. We're based out of West Virginia. They're based out of Chicago, for people who don't know where Harm's Way is from. So
it's a good wrestler.
So we're Eastern. It works out well. And he said, about how long will it take? And I said,
if he gives us
man,
10 minutes, I'm happy.
I said, I'm not going to lie. We record anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes to an hour. It just depends. But any time you're willing to give us, if you just want to talk for like 5 minutes, we'll bring it in.
He literally answer 5 questions and be like, all right, I'm done. Like, I'll talk to you.
And the cool thing was that when I told him, man, like 5 minutes would be perfect, he's like, nah, man, that's fine. So he's anticipating being on the entire episode with us for 30 to 45 minutes, however long we record.
Well, we'll try not to punish him. We'll try to keep this one actually to 45.
Right. We'll at minimum keep his time short, in the sense of not drag out me and you talking and stuff. But yeah, man, anybody, like I said, 6 p.m., we're going to stream it just like we're doing now to the Flop Culture page.
6 p.m., lead singer, Harm's Way.
Yeah, lead singer, Harm's Way, big muscly guy, looks like he could stomp your head. That's the dude. I'm really looking forward to it, man. I love Harm's Way. That's probably my favorite
You've been
hardcore
ranting about
band.
him for like 2 years now.
Yeah, I mean, me and my ex girlfriend went and saw them on the last Warp Tour.
Which was about 2 years
Then
ago, right?
me and my ex girlfriend and our best friend Randall and Lindsay went and saw them in Huntington with the Acacia Strain, and I just went for Harm's Way. Like,
yeah, you're not a post DL Acacia. That's another episode. That's another episode.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing, man. Yeah. But no, I'm really looking forward to it, dude. I hope people participate. We're gonna, like Dag said, we're gonna post this in its own little clip so that you don't have to listen to us
It'll
rant.
either be up tonight or tomorrow, and then we'll post the shit out of it. So,
and we'll share it everywhere.
Recap me again, Juice, real quick, just so I can make a clip of that.
Oh, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern on the Flop Culture page. James from Harm's Way is going to be on the show and talk with us, answer some questions, give us some stories. Yeah, if you want to participate, please share it to your friends list. Hopefully other people who like metal in general will see that and want to join. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, don't forget to like, share, do all that fun stuff. We'll probably be putting these up on YouTube soon, so I know a lot of you guys would rather watch on YouTube. I do myself, but we started this on Facebook first, so we're taking our stab here.
Yeah.
Until next time. Go ahead,
keep
say
it floppy.
Yeah!